Pay over time for a wedding? Listen to this episode and find out. Welcome to another episode of the Wedding Business Solutions Podcast. I'm your host, Alan Berg. I'm a speaker, author, sales trainer, website reviewer, and I help businesses like yours sell more, profit more, and have more fun doing it. Enjoy this episode. Hey, it's Alan Berg. Welcome back to another edition of the Wedding Business Solutions Podcast. I am so happy to have my friend Anja Winikka on with me. Anja, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me, Alan.
So the story behind this particular episode is I was reading an article and it was on The Knot. The Knot sent out this article and it said couples are talking about pay over time for their weddings. And I'm thinking, gosh, pay over time. Square is all about pay over time now with their, buy now, pay later stuff. You can buy the books on my website, which is funny because a $30 book, you can pay over time. And I'm thinking for a wedding, that's a really good idea, but I have no idea how this works. So I'm thinking like, who do I know that knows how this works? And of course it's you, Anja, because this is what you do, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we launched the first ever buy now, pay later solution for the weddings industry about a year ago, the summer of 2021. And the idea around it was just this. There were, you have couples on one hand who are stressed out about trying to figure out ways to pay for their wedding, increasingly so now that we're in this wedding boom, right? You have more than half of them turning to high interest credit cards, to be honest, right? Mm-hmm. And you know the drill. It's like they think that they're going to be able to afford the thing, and then halfway through, they're freaking out and they're looking for solutions. On the other hand, you have business owners who are not necessarily looking on to take credit cards from people who maybe not being protected from chargebacks and things like this. So you have two sides of the equation, and what we thought was we could build a wedge. Like we could use this new financing, lingo or solution or feature or tool, however you want to call it, that all the Gen Z, millennials, all these guys are using to buy shoes and bags, and we can actually apply it to our industry and tailor it specifically to the weddings industry. And so what we did was we built a payment method wherein the couple can come and pay for their first monthly installment, so to speak. Right. And at the same time they do that, they're agreeing to pay for their invoice over time. And at the same time they do that, we send the business owner the full upfront amount for the entire contract.
Wait. Hang on.
Yeah.
So the couple pays over time, but the venue gets all the money right now. Minus, you were starting to say minus because there's got to be a cost, right?
Yes. Yes, minus our service fee. So the couples are paying in equal monthly installments at 0% APR, right? It's like a no-brainer to them. The business owner is getting the full amount wired to their business bank account the day the couple signs, within a business day when it comes to your bank account, minus the service fee. From there on out, the business owner is no longer collecting payments from the couple and chasing them down and doing all this stuff. We are working with the couple on their monthly installments. The business owner has to worry about that. And the entire thing is protected with wedding cancellation insurance provided by eWed. So what that does, it was, when we added it to the feature, we thought, oh, this is kind of a cool idea for couples. But to be honest, the reason we added it in was for businesses, because we wanted to create a conversation with couples where we said, these are the things that you can get your money back for: extreme weather, accidents, job loss, military deployment. Hey, if it's something else, that's not covered. We will be collecting, the full amount from you. And now as a venue owner, a caterer, or whatever, you are no longer having to worry about that piece of it.
Okay, so let's give a little history here. First of all, you and I know each other from our days at The Knot. We were both at The Knot for a very long time. And the concept of giving people payments is not new. You and I have known this with venues for a long time, with vendors for a long time. And this is not just for venues, obviously. This is for anybody, right? Okay.
Yep.
So the concept before had been either the business would give payments, right? And then you're taking all the risk on that. You have to go do the collections or process their credit card every month for X amount of dollars or whatever it is. Right. And then you have a fee on that. And again, there's a cost of use of money, obviously. We know the cost on there. And we can save on credit card fees. Sometimes you can do different things, ACH, you can do wire transfers and, different things like that, debit cards, different fees. But this concept, so I'm reading this article, it's talking about couples would pay over time, but you brought up, I think, which is the biggest point here, which is Gen Y and Gen Z are already doing this. This is not a new concept. It's new to the wedding industry,
Yeah.
and it's certainly a bigger purchase there. I think when sounds like when you created this, the problems were chargebacks,
Hmm.
doing the billing, right? These are the things
Hmm.
that you were trying to
That's right.
solve, right? The chargebacks, doing the billing, company gets the money right now, and there
Yep.
you go.
And cancellations.
Cancellations, right? So if somebody, if they cancel the wedding for a covered reason, then the insurance
Mhm.
pays it.
That's it.
If they cancel for any other reason, the couple still has to pay you,
Yep.
not the business.
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
interesting,
And that's the
interesting.
cost of, that's the service fee. So, and the service fee
Okay,
just really depends on how long the extension is for. Well, we're talking months. So
okay,
the typical scenario is that a couple is taking a 12-month extension. So they're,
okay.
and if they're booking 6 months out from their wedding, that means they could in theory be paying for their venue 6 months after their wedding.
And again, but not just venue. It could be the
Nope,
photographer.
could
It
be
could
a
be the
caterer, could be a
DJ.
photographer, could be a photo album. To be honest, you could pay over time your photo album.
Just
If you're a
just
photographer,
add-on
you're
services.
upselling that. Yep, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I
So
spoke to a
here,
caterer the other day who said the second payment is typically the most painful one for their clients, and he would be very excited about using pay over time for that second payment because that's the moment where the couple's like, oh boy,
right.
they're looking to solve for which payment methods they're using now in the last months leading up to the wedding.
Okay, so if people didn't hear you said a word, you said upsell. Upsell, the concern for people is, do I have the money for that? Is the money in the bank? Do I want to put it on the credit card or whatever? But instead, it could be, hey, add this on, pay this out over 12 months, and now that $1,000 upsell is going to cost you, $80 a month or whatever it comes out to, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to be honest, like when my co-founder and I put together this product and idea, we were not imagining a way to make people spend more money than they couldn't afford. We were really thinking very honestly and altruistically about like how do you get people off of high interest credit cards and send them into these high revolving debt,
Right.
doors that that they are in now when they're newly married and trying to figure out how to pay off the wedding they just had. So we weren't thinking about that. That said, it is a more responsible way in
Right.
our eyes, in our opinion, to pay for this because there is no interest. They are not locking themselves into something that is going to, completely crush them in 2 years into their, newlywed lives. And it's giving them a map as to how much this is going to cost along the way instead of making them scramble at the end. It's saying, hey, for the next 6 months, you're signed up for $130 a month, and that's going to get you your venue. Isn't that cool? That you don't
Yeah.
have to throw that on a credit card.
Well,
Yeah,
but even if they do add something on, it's a fixed term of payments, unlike a credit
that's
card,
it.
which they can keep kicking the can down the road. The
Yes.
interest just keeps accruing and accruing and accruing. So
Yeah.
it's still a more responsible way to spend more. I spoke about this on another episode. I don't know if it's going to launch before this or after this.
Yeah.
But talking about the reason couples under budget for their weddings is because they budget for a dollar amount, not for the results that they want.
Yes.
And and when they find out the results that they want, this beautiful venue, that great
Yes.
caterer, this wonderful photographer, et cetera, and they say, well, but the average cost of a caterer is X, but they don't want average catering, they want above average catering,
Yeah.
they have to spend more. This is definitely a more responsible way to do that, where
Yes.
they're not going to have 24% interest on top of that, and 3 years from now still be paying for their wedding. So they're
That's
locked
it.
in into that.
Yep.
So
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So again, so the concept, which again, I saw this in the article, it's not a new concept. It's a
No.
matter of a how. So you've created a different how because
Yes.
it's always been available how to do it,
Yes.
but you've created a
Well, and
different
also
how.
like before Afterpay and Klarna, there was layaway. Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest, this is sort of like layaway, the modern day layaway. That's what
Right.
Afterpay is, right?
Right.
You're paying over time for the product. Now, before you wouldn't be able to take the coat home. Now they'll send it to you in the mail and you're still paying for it.
Right.
Personally, I think it's interesting that it's become so popular and it's certainly playing into this. But one of the things, I think big picture, having both our backgrounds have been we were always thinking like, what's coming down the pike? What is the expectation of customers right now? Well, if they can buy, they can finance their car, their
Yeah.
their house.
Right.
These things are all financeable and they're very
Right.
easy to do. They can do them on mobile apps. You can't do anything along those lines for a wedding.
Right.
But then in addition, you have at checkout at every turn, Amazon, Waterfront, right? Nordstrom, all of these apps, you're able to split up your payments. Why would you not give them the option? It's a modern day. It's just an added payment method in our minds.
Right. Now, and if you see a TV ad that says 0% financing, it's zero to the customer, but somebody's
Yeah,
still paying that.
that's it.
So,
Yeah.
so what you don't realize as a consumer or don't think about as a consumer is it the dealership or the manufacturer, but somebody is
Yeah,
paying
somebody's paying
down
for it.
that rate. So your service fee is basically the same thing. It's the business paying so that the customer can have 0% and saying, I get my money now. I have no recourse if they don't pay. That's not on me now. It's on you guys, cancellation insurance, all that. So the protection, all of that now is worth it to you, the business, to pay this fee, peace of mind, money's in the bank. Whew, I
Yeah.
can sleep. I can
Yeah.
sleep
And
easier now.
it's a differentiator. The guy down the street may not be doing it. Yeah. And, that's not to say that you can't make it right back into the price. So the typical, if you're offering a 12-month extension on your, deposit or the full amount, the fee is a flat 10% on the end transaction. So the day that we're wiring over the full amount, we're doing it minus 10% if you're offering 12 months. So in our mind, when we have these discussions with businesses, we're always very careful to outline like exactly how much that's going to be when we wire it to you.
Right.
So let's do the math together. Do you need to build 5% back into it to make it make sense? Because,
Right.
your sales conversion is going to be pretty high using this.
Right.
So make it make sense for you. Don't just eat 10% and,
Right.
but just, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and if you had done credit card, it was going to cost you maybe 3% thereabouts.
Yes.
So a couple of more to get the money now.
Yeah.
It does make sense. Or another thought, and I see signs all over, and I know different jurisdictions around the country have different rules where just build it into your price, automatically, and then if they pay cash, let them do a cash discount. And
Right.
this way,
Right.
either way, you're okay. Which, by the way,
Right.
will prove to you could have raised your rates already. Just saying. Just saying. So the key then is there's different ways to. Oh, you froze on me. You there?
Seems to be all. Yeah, I'm
Oh, there we
there.
go.
Can you hear
Okay.
me okay?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay.
All of a sudden, you were like,
I don't
ah.
know what happened. Oh
I thought
God.
you were just very
Yeah, that was very
excited. You were very
attractive.
excited. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, there you go.
Always.
Okay. All right. So we'll pick up over here. So the key now is it's just another way for people to do what they're already used to doing, which is buying something, getting that item right now, paying over time. It's like you said, keeping an eye on what's going on around you. This is a good lesson. I know I've spoken about this on the podcast as well. Inspiration comes from everywhere.
Yeah.
Inspiration doesn't necessarily come from your competitors. It comes from
No.
everywhere. What do you see around you? And again, Afterpay, all this stuff. Every place I go now, no matter whether it's a $30 book, is
That's
offering
it.
you to. Although I did see that Square is going to let me set a limit, like only offer that on higher amounts because it's kind of ridiculous at
Well, yeah.
$30.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but
Splitting up a $30 purchase is a lot. Yeah.
nobody's done it yet. Nobody's done it
Yeah.
yet. But
Yeah.
hey, why not? Let's offer it over
Yeah.
there.
And what we discovered early on, because listen, we were experimenting with a lot of different ways you could do pay over time. Like originally we were like, is this an online thing? Well, no, the cool thing about our industry and the reason it makes sense to build its own product is because we're so heavily offline and because we have these services and they're buying so much more than the product or the thing on the website, right?
Right.
And so that is why we wanted to be really careful about the way in which it's presented. That's why we went straight to businesses, not to couples. That's why we built it the way we built it.
Okay.
And put the wedding cancellation insurance in there. So when you're doing Afterpay or Klarna, it's like those things aren't part of the equation because they don't really have to be.
Right.
But in our industry, we needed to tailor it and we needed to make it make sense for us. Yeah.
Right. So again, protection for the couple, protection for the
Yeah.
the vendor. Again, I want to
Yeah.
say venue
Yes.
because this could be for
No,
anybody.
just could be anyone.
Now, so your company is Maroo, MAROO.US, but is this all you do? You don't just do this.
No, pay over time is a feature. It's
Okay.
one of the payment methods. So our mission is really just to simplify and streamline the entire payments process for the weddings and events industry. So we
Okay.
designed a payments platform exclusively for our industry. Our intention was to make it as simple as a Venmo or a Zelle. Yet sophisticated enough for our industry. So you can request invoices and payment requests from your clients, and you can have them pay you via the debit card, bank transfer, credit card, or pay over time.
Okay.
So you make the decision there. So it's, we also have a B2B side, which is really cool. It allows you to pay other businesses, maybe a second shooter, an editor, maybe a florist that you're working with. And we do it, if you're doing a bank transfer to another person, we're doing it for free. There's no processing fees attached to that. Same with debit cards. So
Wait. Same with debit
yeah.
cards?
Yeah.
Wait, so
Yeah.
there's no fee.
Processing is free on Maroo. Yeah. Both ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what about bank transfers,
Bank
ACHs?
transfers, ACHs are free on Maroo to process both ways. Whether your client is paying you for the event, or another person, or you're paying another person because they helped you on the event, a 1099, so to speak. That's all free to do. And at the end of the year, we send out the 1099s again for free.
Okay, so interesting on that because Square I think charges 1%.
Yes.
And
Yes,
then
they do.
and then how soon does somebody get, if somebody does an ACH, how soon do they get their money?
Yeah. So you get your money in one business day, no matter how the person is paying you.
Oh, wow.
And that is a feature of Maroo. Maroo is pushing that money into your account in a day, and we're waiting on the ACH on your behalf. Again, just one more way to modernize and streamline and be, beneficial to business.
Yeah, because I was using Square for ACH and it was taking like 3 days to
Yes.
get the
Yeah.
money and them charging 1%.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's lightning fast and you're not being charged 1%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm signing up. There we go. All right. No, because no, seriously, no fee on a debit card and no fee on
No.
an ACH and getting the money the next day.
Yeah. No brainer.
And pay over time is actually interesting for me. People to bring me in for sales training is a big number.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I could definitely, somebody's like, hey, I don't have the money now. I need you now.
Yes.
That's an interesting thing as well. So,
Yeah.
all right. So if anybody listening wanted to know more about through you, because if you want to, find out about pay over time, you can just Google and you can do pay over
Yeah.
time. You can find the ones that you said there, Afterpay and stuff, which are charging a fee as well. But if they wanted to find out more about Maroo, how would they do it? And, what do you need them to know?
Yeah. The easiest thing to do is go to maroo.us, and, take a look around, poke around. But, for anyone listening, what we wanted to do is just set up a special affiliate link type of thing for you all listeners,
Okay.
to take advantage of. So if you're using maroo.us / and we'll put the link on in the podcast notes, I think. If you are listening and you want to sign up because you heard this, take advantage, because if you use that link, we'll send you $100 to your business bank account. And by virtue of signing up and using this special link. And then we are, full transparency. A lot of people ask, how does Maroo make money? Well, we make money on the pay over time feature in particular. So we're very motivated to, have you check it out and discover it. So if you also were to sign up and do a demo with us on pay over time, just for your listeners here, we would add another $100. So just sign up, do a demo, and we'll give you $200.
Whoa. So free, you see the free money? Anya's making it rain. Anya just made it rain. Here you go. That's it. That's
On
it.
brand. Where's my money
On brand.
jacket?
That's it.
Yeah.
So if you just sign up for a free account, you get $100, and then you said it was no fee for debit card transactions. So those companies that don't want to take a deposit on a credit card because of the fee could take it on a debit card, and there'd be no fee, or an ACH, and they get the money the next day. Yeah. Get $100 just for signing up for that, and you offer credit card processing as well, which is competitive.
Flat 2.9%, which you can, depending on where you live, you can pass it on to the client. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if they also do a demo of the pay over time feature, they'll get another 100, so you get $200 free for listening to this podcast.
Just for this
podcast, right? Wedding Business Solutions. We will put into the show notes the information and the links. Go to maroo.us. If you don't see the link or whatever, just go and tell them you saw me on, or you heard me on Alan Berg's podcast, Wedding Business Solutions podcast, and Anya will make it rain for you there. So
done.
There you go. So thank you so much. I knew you were the person to talk to about this. When I read that article, I was like, ding, 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 ding. I need to talk about this, but I'm not the expert on this. You're the expert on this one.
Appreciate that.
Thank you so much, my friend. So good to see you. And thanks for that generous offer. That's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
You got it.
All right.
You got it.
Thanks everybody for listening. Sign up, get your free account, get a free $100. But is this just in the USA?
Yeah.
Okay.
we have a wait list going internationally. So,
Okay.
if you want to sign up and you're international, we've put it together a wait list. We can't wait to go international.
Okay. All right. So I just wanted to say that because I do have people in many countries listening.
Fair.
So if you're in another country, contact them, sign up, get on the wait list, and then you'll get your $100 when it comes there.
Yeah, that's
there
it.
there we go. All right. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Wedding Business Solutions podcast. If you liked it, please subscribe to this channel and post a review on your chosen platform, Apple Podcasts or whichever one. If you have any questions about anything in this episode or any of my episodes, email me directly at alan@weddingbusinesssolutions.com or visit my website, alanberg.com, alanberg.com. If you have any suggestions for future topics or guests that you'd like to see, please again, email me or visit my website. Thanks for listening.